Hey guys, welcome back. So today I just want to retouch a little bit on some of the things that we've been talking about in the past videos. Yesterday I did a small video on self-love and how important it is to self-love and how it drives you to succeed more in life when you do that. This morning I was reminiscing on accomplishments and how far I've came and how much I've changed over time, my thoughts and my mentality compared to how I used to think even to last year, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, or just any time and frame, right? And I was having like a moment with myself and I'm like, wow, like I've really like made all these changes. I've taken decisions to improve my life in so many ways, and those have all been my choices. All right, like all of us make choices, whether they're good or bad, but we all make our own choices. We all make those decisions. Nobody else does them for you. And hopefully, we're all making good choices for ourselves. So this morning, I had a realization of, the things that I have accomplished over time, because sometimes I'm like, I feel like I haven't accomplished as much as I've wished I had, but I'm like, I've accomplished so much. So I'm going to show you like a little bit of me, who I used to be in 2018. I was, a lot more thicker of a girl than I am today. I lived a healthier lifestyle than I do. And I was so much younger. Now I'm 27. So I was so much younger than than I am now. And looking back at it, I decided to make a choice to like be better, to change things for myself. I started creating healthier habits. And don't get me wrong, it was so hard at first. People sometimes ask me, they're like, how did you do it? Or why did you do it? And I'm like, honestly, I can't tell you how did I do it. I think it was more with like learning to love myself, because throughout my whole life I went through like stages of depression, especially not being born in this country. It was really hard for me, coming into a whole new space, learning the language, being able to fit in, coming in with like new traditions, looking different, because where I was from, you look different because you're being brought up different. So you kind of like don't just straight fit into the culture. And that was like very difficult for me. I was going to school and like people would dress differently. They would have like, there was like a trends and styles. And I came from more of like a poor country, like a third world country. So my style was just like whatever we had, that's what we had to go to school. And it didn't matter over there because we all valued what we had. Like I wasn't going home and asking my parents, can I have that same bag, the Jansport or whatever it was popping back then? Oh, can I have that same book bag? Like, no, I was appreciative of whatever I had, whether it was a $13 book bag. Even that was so much back in the days, back because I came here like in 2005. So even that was a lot of money. But no, I was just appreciative. Like I would see my parents go to work every day and come back exhausted and tired, But anyways, through that whole era of like trying to like be accepted by society and then accept myself, I went through like so many challenges of finding out who I am, the things that I wanted, who I wanted to be. And it took years and didn't happen from one day to the other. It was so many struggles, and I'm so happy that I was able to overcome them. And I'm so thankful for that, because there's so many people that don't, right? That I can't even count in my hand so many people that deal with like these daily struggles, and they don't come to acceptance with who they are or who they want to be. And every day is like, oh, it's an excuse as to why they're not doing the things that they want to do, right? So after like going through like all this depression, I suffered from like eating disorders where it was just, I saw myself gaining weight, but I also wanted to eat a lot because I'm like, it was the only thing bringing me comfort. So I would go to school in the mornings and then I'll feel some type of remorse for eating the things that I said I wasn't going to eat. So then I'll start throwing up, just doing things that weren't healthy for my body and my mind. And that was like the worst choices ever. Once I began to like came to a realization that I wanted a different me, that I wanted a better woman in the future, I decided to make that choice right there. And it's never too late. I was probably like 18 years old, and I decided, like, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? Either like I continue to live my life this way, and like eventually it's going to take a different route, and I'll be like, fuck, like I should have done better for myself, or I could just decide and make a change in my life right now, right? Which is what I decided to do. And I'm like, it's going to take time. Like I put that in my mind where it's just like, it's going to take time. Nothing's going to happen from one day to the other. And I've applied that ever since in every stage of my life. It's going to take a lot of like falling down, sometimes even crying, or you're like not feeling all the way there, but you gotta keep pushing yourself. You gotta love yourself, and you gotta tell yourself, you got this, keep going. Eventually it's going to give in months, years, but it will. It took me years. I went from being almost 200 pounds to being 136 now. So you tell me, like, it didn't happen from one day to the other, especially when you're doing things the healthy way. You're not going to drop 30. I mean, some people do it, but it took me like a long time to see little changes little by little. And the first few months were like the worst, because I'm like, I didn't see anything changing. And I mean, I look at myself every day in the mirror, so I'm like, to me everything looked the same. And then maybe like into like a year and a half, I started to look back at my pictures and my progress, and I'm like, holy shit, like I started to see the difference, of my hard work and everything I have put in. And if I was putting in that much work into myself, I wanted to put that much work into like everything I did in life. Like that was my ethic, and something that I lived by, and something that I still live by to this day. I don't sit there and ever compare to like the person next to me and think like, if they're not doing that, like I'm already doing a little bit better, and I'm like, I'm complacent. Like, no, I need to push myself to be what I want to be, where I want to be at, not me surpassing somebody else a little bit and then that makes myself automatically feel better. Not at all. My goal is to always do the things that I want to do. I can't sit here and compare my goals to someone else's, because then I won't reach my full potential. I won't reach the potential that I know I have for myself. I'm only surpassing someone else's potential. That's all I'm doing. I'm not surpassing my own potential. And that's something that a lot of us deal with. I've seen it to like a lot of like coworkers, where it's just like, they're like, but it doesn't matter because the person next to me only did X amount, so I already did more than them. Okay, like, so clearly you can do a lot more. Like the person next to you is just doing the bare minimum, and you're still doing the bare minimum because you're only doing a little bit of what they're doing. You guys get what I'm saying, right? If you can do like 30 times more, and like that's your bare minimum is probably doing 30 times more than what the person next to you is doing, but you're setting your standards and your bars, like your bar low, and that's crazy. That's the functionality of society, right? Like we as a society, we all set standards that are acceptable, that are very high, and we can't meet, so then we complain, right? Like we're the ones who set the laws, or what's accepted in society. At the end of the day, we know the reality of it, and how the potential that there is in the world and everything that we can do. So we set the bar high, but we fall really low under it. And the reason for that is because people are just lazy and nobody wants to do the most. And that's the problem with a lot of things. And I just want you guys to know, and this is one of the main reasons why I'm making this video, is because you need to set your standards higher. You know you can do it. You know that you can do so much more. So do it. You know, write down your goals and then attack them. Don't compare your goals, or your don't set your bar as low, or don't even try to go only a little bit above the person next to you. Like, aim for the greatest and the best, and I know that you can do this. Okay? But happy hump day, guys, and I hope that you guys have an amazing Wednesday. Let's keep going, and we got this, and we got life, and that's the greatest thing, right? Because we only got this once. We don't get, I mean, if there's an afterlife, then please hit me up then. But yeah, guys, just keep going, keep pushing. Happy Wednesday, and yeah, hope you guys like this.